Good afternoon, guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am excited on today. For those of you who are new, my name is Otisha Turner, and you've just joined the Blessing Gang. So if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And while you're ready, go ahead and hit the notification bell right beside it so you'll never have to miss out on another video. Guys, I'm excited on this Sunday. I just thank God for being above ground on today and that there's breath in my body, y'all. I know there's a lot of people. I had a classmate pass away just a week ago on Mother's Day, and someone else I knew lost someone close to them. So y'all, we just have to be thankful and grateful that God is still using us. And you know, for any of you who have lost loved ones, I pray that God be with you and that He'll give you the strength that you need on today, guys. I'm excited. So y'all, this is like a part 2 of the video that I posted a couple of days ago. The message, the title was "Get Up and Fight." So this is kind of like a duplicate or part 2 of what I have for you guys. Y'all, I'm just so excited to get this to y'all because I was about to keep it to myself and just share it, but y'all gotta get in on this word today, okay? It's gonna be good. Buckle up, grab you some popcorn. I ain't gonna be here before you long because I'm hungry and I got some Mexican food, waiting. All right, guys, so let's just get right into it. So we had this saying growing up, square up or step in my square. Now, I know y'all remember this. If y'all around my age, I know y'all gotta remember this. So this meant that somebody was about to fight and that something big was about to happen. They was about to get beat down. When you heard those words, whether you was on at recess, on the monkey bars, in your neighborhood, on the porch, when you heard that, you already knew that something was about to go down. And I knew that if somebody was bold enough to step in my square, and if they were bold enough to square up, then they have to be bold enough to get knocked down. And the devil has been all in your personal space. He's been all up in your personal space. And if you like me and if you know me, I don't really like when people just are all in my personal space. It irritates me. It makes me mad. And the devil has been making you mad and irritated in this season. The devil has been bullying you for too long. The devil has stolen from you too many times, and he has messed with our families for too long. And at this point, I'm sick and tired of it. And you have to get to a point to where you are sick and tired of going through the same thing, of going through the same battles, of going through the same defeats, of going through the same chaos. You have to get to a point to where you are sick and tired. And he has squared up with me. I know. I don't know your story. But I know for me, he has squared up with me too many times. Too many times. And the day is the day that I square back up with him. Today is the day that you ought to set everything else aside. And when the devil comes in and attacks your mind, when he comes in to tell you all kinds of negative things, or if he tries to bring up in your past, today is the day that you need to square up. Today is the day. We cannot go into another season. We cannot go into another year still going through the same battles that Satan is trying to bring upon us. Now I get it. This whole week, y'all, I kid you not, my mood has been here to here, here to here. It's just like been a roller coaster. I almost feel like I got 20 personalities. I don't know what it is. But today is the day that I square up with Satan, with the enemy. Today is the day that I do it. So it's time that we square up with the enemy. It's time to get bold with the enemy. It's time to use our mouth, our weapons. It's time to to get in your word, so when you do become defeated, when you do get depressed, there are scriptures out there that you can just throw at Satan, and when you call on Jesus, he has to flee. I mean, not Jesus has to flee, but Satan has to flee. We gotta step on his neck in this season and seasons to come. It's time to fight. I was never in a lot of fights in my growing up. I was in a couple, but it was nothing ever detrimental. But I think my biggest fight came when I made up in my mind that I wanted to get closer with God. That's when that was one of the toughest fights, and still one of the toughest fights that I'm having to face to this day. And so when things like this arise, when things like this happen, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? This is not the time to let Satan win. This is not the time to be defeated by him. What are you going to do? In the Bible, guys, and I'm almost through. It's not going to be a long message. I'm going to get straight to the point because I want you to know that Satan can't have me no longer. And I might get thoughts in my head. I might get negative thoughts in my head, but no longer. And I have to know that I can get up and stand boldly in God. Boldly in God. I have to know that. And in the Bible, there was a man by the name of David. And David had to do some squaring up of his own. We should all know the story about David and Goliath, and it talks about it in 1 Samuel, the 17th chapter. I'm not going to be quoting or saying word by word, but I'm breaking it down on what it meant to me and my own understanding of it. If you need to reference back to it, just turn to 1 Samuel, the 17th chapter. We know that there was a war taking place between Israel and the Philistines, and it was taking place in Israel between the Philistines and King Saul and the Israelites. Nobody wanted to go up against the Philistines because they had a man by the name of Goliath. Now, we didn't all, as childhood, we all knew about Goliath. The Bible says that he was this strong giant, and Goliath challenged the Israelites for 40 days to square up against them. I'm using it in my own words because that's what the message is about. It's about squaring up and getting bold. And so he challenged the Israelites for 40 days. In the Bible, it said 40 days and 40 nights for someone to go up against him, but no one was willing to do it. They were scared. As probably you would have been scared if you would see a giant and you calling me, you want to fight? I'm good. You got it. David wasn't in the army. He was actually a keeper of the sheep, and so he was responsible for taking food to his brothers. And one day, as he was taking food to his brothers, he overheard Goliath calling out the Israelites once again. So David is like, you know what? I'll fight Goliath. I ain't scared. David was like, listen, I got God on my side. And as long as we have God on us, as long as I got God on my side, I don't fear nothing. And that's how our mentality should be too. So David's brothers started hating. You know, people gonna hate on you. When they see God is doing something in your life, they gonna start hating. Those are the people you gotta watch. And they was like, you know, you can't fight him, man. You know, you tend to sheep. What you think you are? You ain't noble enough or worthy enough to fight Goliath. Do you see how big he is? And so, but David knew that God would see him through. He knew that God had his back. He knew that God would give him all the tools that he needed to take on this big and powerful man by the name of Goliath. And see, let me, because some of us think we too good or we're better than others. So let me kind of bring you down. Let me kind of bring you down a notch. You don't have to be the most saved and sanctified to be called by God. You don't have to be the richest to be called by God. God doesn't look at things like that. He doesn't look at material things like that. He looks at your heart. So I don't know. I didn't go that deep, but maybe it was something that he seen in David. Maybe it was something that he seen in David's heart. Maybe he and David was chosen. Little did he know at the time, but David was chosen. You can be cleaning toilets and God can still call you. You can be sweeping floors and God can still use you. Let me say that again. You could be cleaning toilets, sweeping floors, washing cars, working at Walmart, working at McDonald's, and God can still use you and call you. You see, David's brothers didn't think that he was capable of fighting for God because David's brother didn't think he was capable of fighting because, you know, he tended to sheep. When there was a calling on your life, people, nobody can stop what God has already ordained, because he knew you before you was in your mama's womb. Nobody. Not your friend, not your auntie, not your mama, not your daddy, not your sisters, not your pastor. Nobody can stop what God has already ordained. Hallelujah. And so David knew what time it was. Goliath had been challenging his people. He had stepped in the Israelite square. And now it was time for David to square up. You know, he was tired. You keep calling out my people. You know, my people really scared, but I ain't scared of you, so I'm finna let you know what it is. Like, I might be little compared to you, but I got God. I got the strength of God, and that's all he needed, and that's all you needed. That's all I needed. David, and you know, when Goliath seen David, of course he was cracking jokes. He was probably like, man, y'all sent him? I'm finna trample him. Y'all sent him, like he was making fun of him and, you know, mocking him and stuff like that. And just like Goliath was mocking David and making fun of, the enemy been doing that right in your face. He's been making fun of us. He's been telling us we're not good enough. Telling you you're not pretty enough. Telling you you're not worthy enough. Telling you you're not good enough to go to the next level because of what you did in your past. But your past doesn't matter, guys. Your past doesn't matter. So David was like, listen, I'm tired of this. He took the rock. He slanged the rock and he knocked down Goliath and he cut his head off. The Philistines seen this and they was just like, wait, I don't want no parts of this. So they ran the other way. So King Saul saw this and he was probably like, David, is that you? He was like, wow. He was probably like, man, he did that? He took on Goliath? And so when that happened, he moved him up. He kind of transformed his life. He like gave him a promotion. In our day, it would probably be like a promotion. King Saul gave David a promotion and he promoted him to be leader of the armies. He went from being a keeper of sheep, or however you want to call it, this is how I'm looking at it, tending to sheep, to being a leader of an army. And he went on to win many battles. He went on to win many battles, y'all. And I have a message for you today. God is calling you out of, he's trying to push you and he's trying to move you into this next season. He's trying to push you and build you up into what he has called you to be. But we have to square up with the enemy. And once we can get past that, once we can get him out of our space, once we get bold with him and ask him what's up, there's nothing that we won't be able to do. And once we get past that, God can take us higher. David was a keeper of sheep. You may be working at a job right now, making $7.50, $8 or $9 an hour. You might not even know, but somebody is doing something behind the scenes. God is preparing preparing you for something behind the scenes, because he knows how hard you've been working. He knows how hard you've been praying. He sees your frustration. But because you chose not to give up, he's preparing your table. And the feast is going to be so big. And all of your enemies, all the people who doubted you, all the people who thought that you weren't good enough, is about to watch you eat. They are about to watch you eat, y'all. Excuse me. It's time to square up with the enemy. Tell him to step in your square. Matter of fact, you ain't even got to tell him, because he been all up in your personal business. He been all up in your square. So what are you finna do about it? On today, you need to make the decision that no longer will you be bound by the enemy and things from your past and these negative thoughts. So what if you lose friends? Everybody can't go with you. When God has a calling on your life, David had a calling on his life. He had a calling on his life, guys. He made that choice. Like, you squaring up with my people. You didn't enter into my personal space. I gotta do something about this. If my family not willing to do nothing, if my friends not willing to do nothing, I gotta do something. Maybe they don't know what to do. And you don't even know. Maybe you the person in your family that's ending all generational curses, to where the next generation won't have to deal with the things that we dealt with. Square up. It's time to square up with Satan. He done already stepped in your square. So what you gonna do about it? I hope this helped you guys. I was so anxious to get it off my heart. I love you guys so much. I tried to keep this under 20 minutes. Leave your feedback. Share this content, guys, because there's somebody out here who's dealing with this. The Satan, guys, he has been, he walks around like a lion seeking who he can devour. I think I said that right. Don't let that be you. The devil should be so timid to step foot in your house, because he know if he do, he ain't got no room in here. I got the tools that I need. I got a mouth, a weapon. I'm trying to help somebody on today, guys. This is a good Sunday. It's a good Sunday, and I hope this message really did something to you. I love you guys so much. And remember, God loves you more.